The next chapter we talk about that. There's a whole list of words we need to look at, because there is to be spiritual, to be spiritually minded, to be carnal, to be carnally minded. And we can say we are spirit beings, so in that sense we are spiritual. But that doesn't mean we're spiritually minded, right? It doesn't mean that we're spiritually mature. There is spiritual immaturity, right? So when you say, if I say a spiritually minded person never died of sickness or disease, and you say, well, my grandmother, she was spiritual. Now see, you just changed it. I didn't say she wasn't spiritual, I said she wasn't spiritually minded. Because that right here doesn't say you're not spiritual. It just says you're not spiritually minded, right? I'm not saying she wasn't right with God. A lot of good people right with God still died of sickness or disease, right? Matter of fact, many of them die because they're right with God, because the devil hates them so bad he goes after them, and because they're carnally minded, they don't know how to fight him, and they try to fight him through carnal weapons instead of spiritual weapons, and they end up dying. All right, y'all with me on this so far? You understand this? So the key is to get us spiritually minded. When you get spiritually minded, you won't die of sickness or disease especially. You say, well, and then the funny thing is that people say, well, if we don't die that way, how are we going to die? Like they're really worried about it. They got to figure out, how am I going to die? I've got to die somehow. Why are you even worried about it? You know, Paul said, you know, we're not all going to die, but we are all going to be changed, right? So why are you even worried about dying? Just he can come back before you die. You know, and then people say, well, how am I going to die? Who cares?